Hi guys and welcome to Train Sim TV. In today's video we're going to be taking a look at the Mid Norfolk Railway from Team Traction. It's been developed by a lad called Brad Wright and it's his first route in Train Sim. So we're going to take a look at this and just see what he's been up to over the past months in the process of the release of this. The route's available from ATS. I think it's also available from somewhere else. I'm not quite sure where. It might say in the manual. We're going to go through that as well. We're going to take a little drive along the first section of the route. It's not the full route at the moment, and the route currently covers from Wymondham to Thuxton. The route itself overall currently gives you about 6 and a bit miles. I think it's about 6.5 miles, but the route itself in reality is actually about 15 miles long. This will be the first of a few phases. It goes on the manual as well. It tells you about what's going to happen with the route too. So we're going to get ourselves started. We are at Wymondham Abbey, and we're going to go up to Thuxton. So let's get this unpaused. We're on the class 101 as well. So let's get this on. Get the hood up. So we're going to get our passengers on here. We've got the lights on already. We're good to go. So whilst we are loading passengers, the route's description. This is a preview of the route I have been building, part of the project to recreate the whole Mid Norfolk Railway in Train Sim 2020, or 21 now. I am conscious that the progress is slow, so I've decided to release the route in 3 phases. So phase 1 is the version right now that we're on, between the southern terminus of Wymondham to the halfway point of Thuxton. Phase 2 will include the line to Derham, and the third phase will model the northern extension towards North Elmham and the county school. Custom assets will also one day make an appearance on the route, however they are not included in the current version, with things like signal boxes and stations having placeholders currently. In version 1.0 you get 6.5 of scenic miles up to an hour of running there and back, 4 stations which are Wymondham Abbey, Kimberley Park, Hardingham and Thuxton, scratch-made track and ballast textures courtesy of Goose Studios, and 3 engaging and realistic scenarios. Just to let you know, this is actually one of the scenarios that does come with the route. However, I have slightly modified it. I have changed the weather just so it's not raining, because I like to show off, when we do these show-off videos, we like to make them nice and sunny so you can get the full extent of it would be like on a nice summer's day. But yeah, this is one of the scenarios, and it is, I can't remember what the actual scenario is called. I'll have a look in the manual. It's down the bottom, so I'll get the proper name for this one. It is called it is called The Calm After the Storm. So the actual description of this one would be to take a class 101 off an off-peak spring morning from Wymondham Abbey, and you then go as far as Thuxton. Today, as a storm brought down trees at Yaxham last night, which cannot be cleared in time for today's service. Sort of ties in quite nicely with the theme of, obviously, it's like 6.5 miles so far. You can't go down that way anyway. We'll go on with the other scenarios in a moment. So whilst we're still opening, we've got the doors open, we're still loading, I might as well carry on talking about what's what. So what's planned for the future? Extensions to Derham in version 2, extensions to Hardingham in V3, like we've just gone over, custom assets and stations, signal boxes and other notable structures, publicly available repaints, reskins representing M&R locos, including the Western War Department, I think, actually, Austerity 060 ST, Swiftsure pre and post 2020, the Class 101 into a modified BR Blue Grey and BR Green with whiskers, a reskin for the milk tank wagon, reskin for other various resident locos, winter track textures from Goo Studios to allow snow scenarios to be recreated. Assuming there's any snow textures on this at the minute. Alternate versions of the route once version 3 is complete. So you get a 2010 to 2018 version without Kimberley sidings and single track Danemore Bank. A steam era version, either 1900s or 1950s. Fictional version which extends the line to County School, currently hasn't actually reached there in real life. There's a disclaimer also. So this is a release this is a release intended as a preview of an independent product. Right away. Let's get the train going. So we'll just take this for a slow drive out of here. The route is still work in progress and will still be extended in the future. As such, what is seen may not represent the final product. Track layouts, signals and markers are all subject to change. Please do not reuse the Goose Studios custom assets in your personal routes as they are subject to change or removal. Those prefixed with BRE in the editor. Where we got to there. Please note that the included assets and associated geometry files are entirely the work of Goose Studios, and he would ask kindly that you do not distribute these without his permission. If you want to share his route with others, please link the download page rather than re-uploading, of course, without permission, as it's already free. So this route uses as a sort of a template. I've got some milk bottles there apparently. I wonder what they are. Must be sheep. They're now milk. So yeah, it uses the Goose Studios Bretland line as like a template. So it uses the track. I think it uses some of the foliage as well, and bits and pieces. A little bit of the route is already there. So the first part of the route, which is Wymondham, which is off the Bretland line there, that is actually included, and then it's severed off at each end. So it's quite cool. The scenery is lovely. The only one thing, and I know he has already acknowledged this, is the fact that there's no 3D trees on the line side. Big must for me in terms of routes. Obviously being a route builder myself, thoroughly recommend 3D foliage placement on the track side. Gives you more depth as well. Everything else 2D is fantastic. It's fine, no issues with that. But it's looking very nice already. The work that's been done, it's got a decent amount of stuff going on in terms of keeping it in the well done frame rates. It looks right to me. There's the Abbey there. Sort of little gaps and bits and pieces there, but I'd expect these to be sort of tied up as he moves along with the route. I'm sure stuff will get tied up and bugs will be found. Possibly say it's maybe a little bit too linear with the same stuff going on the line side foliage, like in the terms of the same bushes used. Maybe a little bit more variation to go in there, but as a first route, it's really nicely done. He's done a fantastic job for this first one. Now I don't know how long it's taken him to properly do it. I'm assuming it's been something maybe that started off like a lockdown job, and it's come out from there. But it's nice. To say as well, first route, even I were at this stage when I was route building for my first stuff. My first stuff when I used to do Trans-Pennine route, which is now Harrogate Loop, was an absolute shambles. I had to rip lots up and restart stuff again. It's a big learning curve. And again, for Brad, I'm sure this has been a massive learning curve for himself. So it's great to see that he's delved into this as a first route. And another route that, of course, hasn't been really replicated. Well, it hasn't been replicated properly in TS, apart from the small bit that came with the Bretland line. Put 20 over here. Nice little bridge. Let's have a look at that. So yeah, it makes use of the fantastic bridge end and stuff like that off the Bretland. I love these assets that they've done from Goo. Really nice. So this must have obviously it would have been double track at some point. So it's like sort of like comes across and comes back again. Moving through the manual as we go through. So route guide, you got oh, so it's not Wymondham, it's Wyndham. It even tells you how to pronounce it. I like that. I need stuff like that. So Kimberley Park, which is pronounced as Kimberley. Okay. Danemore Bank, pronounced Danemore. Or, yeah, Danemore. I like this. A bit of a lesson for me, this. So I'm learning it at the same time, whilst I'm driving. You got Hardingham, which is obviously Hardingham. Thuxton, excuse me, Fuxton. So, that's the guide as well. It gives you a little bit of a write-up about each place as well. Tells you what's what there. I'm not going to go all into that in terms of this. You can give this a good read yourself when you download the route. There's a couple of known bugs with the route. So there's a couple of buggy signals around Thuxton, which he has been unable to fix for this release. If you come across these, approach the signals with caution and prepare to stop. However, if the signal does not raise, then give it a tab to pass it at danger. Some of Goose Studios ballast textures not rendering for the points. It doesn't have the winter textures. We're currently working on a fix for that. There are also some spelling errors that have been picked up on, which will be patched. If you spot any, do let them know, and they can compile this. So at this stage, they're asking if you do see something, do let them know, which is great. And if you do find any major bugs, do also let them know via the social links. He's mostly aware of them all, but if there's anything else you do spot that hasn't seen, it's always nice to have a new set of eyes, then do let him know. This is nice. I like this banking that's been done, all different bits of foliage. So there's some nice variation here. I like that. I need to try and get a screenshot as well. This could make a nice screeny. Move a bit further forward. Bit of Kuju stuff going on. I mean, if you try and get away from Kuju usually these days. Not all Kuju. I think as well, another thing for myself would be like adding some line side fencing, of course, around the roads and stuff like that, just stop trespassers from getting onto your line, which is quite common practice these days. So, installation of the route. The route is installed like most trains in third-party DLCs through utilities, or you can drag and drop if you're more happy opening the zip up. That's how I did it. I just drag and drop, is easy. Route requirements, bold are essential. I'm just going to give you the whole lot anyway, but if you go through and have a look at the manual yourself, it tells you what's what and what's required more than others. There's a bit of a spite there. There we go, sorted. So, in order listed, Thompson's West Coast Mainline Trent Valley for the scenic objects and lofts, DTG's East Coast, Great Eastern Mainline, sorry, for the scenery, DTG's South London Network for scenic objects and lofts, DTG East Coast Mainline, sorry, so it's the south one there, London Peterborough, scenic objects and lofts, AP's Wherry lines for the signals, Goose Studios Bretland line for the route template, textures and track. You then need the Academy for the assets, so everyone has Academy, AP Station Pack, which comes with most DTG routes, European Assets Pack, which is default Kuju stuff, DP Simulations Route Building Pack 01 for the Wymondon platform and scenery. Please note, for the version 2 of the route, it will require the DTG Corris Railway and the JT's Common Library, which is packed with most JT routes. There's a few little trees that are sort of encroaching the track here, but hopefully these will be changed to 3D. Fingers crossed moving forward as well. Right, scenarios. You get 3 scenarios. One of them is done as 2 versions, so you get the AP 101 or the DTG versions, whichever you have. So you've got the Calm After the Storm, which is this one, but we're doing it in Sun. Harding and Fate. And Duff Duties. And then it goes on to the credits. So, route building, team traction, thanks also go to Goose Studios for allowing the use of the custom signal boxes, track and the ballast textures, and allowing the use of the Bretland line as a route template. So, beta testers, Team Traction, Sprinter Boy, Castellan, Creed, Jinx, Mr. Davis Stewart, Terrier Fulham, 44, Model Train Fan, 102, and scenario creators were Davis Stewart, Team Traction, and Sprinter Boy. Ooh, we should stop here, really. We'll do a stop. It actually is marked to stop here as well, so we'll make sure we don't go right across. So that's the manual. It does go on to tell you that. So if you have any issues, there is contact links and stuff down there as well, so it's easy to get in touch with them. I'm going to close the manual down because we're done with that. Right, so we're just doing the marker stop here. This is nice. Matey boy's giving us a wave there. Stop and sound your horn and then proceed over the level crossing at the maximum of 10 miles per hour. screenshot potentials. So 10 over the crossing, which we're doing 11. I assume we've got something coming the other way. I'm trying to figure out where we are. We're there, aren't we? Ooh, manual points. So good job I checked that. So you do need to make sure you're not on the manual points. I would recommend as well, like, these should be probably automatic, but it's a heritage line as well at the end of the day. But do make sure when you're driving that you do have them points set, because I didn't, and I wasn't actually aware of that. Probably a message, maybe an update message, maybe just stating in the scenario that you have to check the points. It's always a good idea. Right, we can continue. Some sidings here. I've got some 3D bits going on here, look. 3D bushes. Bit of an incline coming up here. 1 in 58 at the minute. A farm access crossing there. So Fuxton is 2.75 miles away currently. So drop a gear, I think. Maybe it's just that set of points that were manual, because these ones are automatic. Maybe the manual to go into the yard, actually, to be honest. But just give it a check if you do drive it yourself, guys. That you don't obviously go where you shouldn't. So again, as I mentioned a little bit before, just in terms of the linear stuff, hopefully Brad watches this as well, and he might pick up a few little tips and hints. It's just a case of making it just so that your line size not overly the same, because at the minute all you're seeing is the same bushes. So just a bit of a variation really going in there needs adding in. Drop some stuff down, give them a bit different heights as well. Always works a treat. But yeah, if you can add a few extra bits of pieces in the side of the foliage there, it'll give you a bit more of a less linear look to it. I'm liking this where it's got the cleaner track against the older track as well. That's sort of done in the Goose style there. I mean, we work with this track at Just Trains, and I've got it on my upcoming. We've got it on Harrogate Loop coming up as well, and it'll be also rolled out on more OTS products from the JT Common Library. The track's fantastic to work with. It's some really nice variations in colour as well. So over the crest of the hill there, downhill again. This scenario would take us there and back. I'm only going to do one way for this video. We will be doing it again at some point. We'll try and get it on in the stream. I don't think I've seen any scenarios to this yet either. Let's see if there's some scenarios out there. It's a relatively easy drive, really. Just a little bit of incline there. You just need to keep your eye with the on your brakes, which probably will catch some people out if they're full power. I've got a signal coming up here, so we'll have to slow down for this just to see whether it'll change or not. as obviously these work in the same style as obviously it's AP signalling, so they're not always pulled straight off. They sort of sometimes change as you get to them. I think that one is actually currently down as danger. I think. Can't quite make it out. There's a TSR there as well. It's quite cool. Like a severed little like bit of stuff. Small sidings. So it's just changed. So we'll get past this, we'll open it back up again. So this was Hardingham. Not sure, don't look like it's actually in use, to be fair, anymore. I'm looking on my map. I've got my rail atlas out for this, so I'm just looking. It doesn't actually show it on the map. So to me, obviously, it's disused that. So we're just going through the 10 now. For the rickety old bridge. For the best bet here, I'm getting 80 FPS. We don't get many routes that have 80 FPS, do we? Probably will drop a bit if you get these 3D trees come and stuff like that, but even then, it still should be quite high, to be honest. So we have last stop down to Fuxton, which is 1 mile away. I think this is the goo trackside foliage down here as well, the grass. Which you get on the Bretland. We've got the distance signal coming up now. That looks like it's set for proceed actually. So the next signal should be green. So as well, a bit of Goo Studios, Gen, obviously they've announced that they're working with AP now on the Class 317 Volume 1 pack, which is nice to see. I'm hoping that obviously as well with the Bretland line that comes up with another update soon enough. Right, Fuxton, 0.4 of a mile. Got some disused bits of stock here as well. A few janky bits on the track, a few little rough areas. Could do with ironing out, hopefully. We've got a actual colour aspect signaler. Some hidden speeds as well. They could do with sorting, hopefully. That's not showing up on the HUD, that 15. Oh, that's a different line. That's why it's not showing up on the HUD. Take that back. I thought we were crossing over then, because it did say on the actual signal that we were crossing. So it would appear that possibly the signal's not set correctly, actually. The signal's down as red at the minute, so we'll slow down for this. Hopefully it should pull off as we get near it. It could be one of these problem signals though, so we'll see what happens. No, hey, happy days. Pull in a little bit more. Excellent stuff. So as I say, we're going to end the video here. We're not going to go back the other way, but everything will be in the description if you wish to have a look at this route yourself. So do take a look. I look forward to seeing what Brad and the team do with the route as well moving forward. Definitely be nice to see. Hopefully, if we get some 3D tree foliage and stuff along the side as well, and general bug fixes and that. Excellent stuff. Nice work as well, Brad. I do apologise. It's taken me a while to get this video done. I told him I was going to do it a while back, but I've just been so busy work-wise and everything's sort of like old backlogs of videos coming through. So obviously, by the time this one's going live, it'll be Friday. So we got there in the end with it. Massive thanks everyone for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Again, do have a look at the route for yourself if you wish to have a play with it. Link this in the description. Don't forget you can catch us on Twitch on our regular intervals now, at the link in the description below too. Like, share, subscribe for future videos, and we will see you on the next video. Take care and bye for now.